Hey everybody, welcome back. My name's Vince and this is going to be my first Small Business Saturday. Now, what is Small Business Saturday? Well, it's going to be segments specifically geared on and released on Saturdays towards locally owned and operated businesses. Those small businesses in the communities that make our city, our neighborhood special. And it's been a particular passion of mine for several years. As a matter of fact, about 7-8 years ago, I had a radio show on one of our local AM stations where every week we highlighted about 4 different local businesses, sometimes nonprofits that were local, but mostly small, locally owned and operated businesses. And what we did on that radio show that was really fun is that we'd interview the guest, and a lot of times they got to give a lot of the information and background about what got them into business in the first place, what made their business special, and then any kind of discounts or offers that they wanted to give to the local community. Now, I did that for about a couple of years in total, and it was such a satisfying experience. We gave away these spots for free. But then 2020 came, and you're forced to close and shutter your front doors. And a lot of business owners were left in the lurch, like, what do I do now? I don't have my front doors open. A lot of them resorted to just putting a sign up in the window, we're not open. Hopefully we'll open up in a month or two or whatever they put. Some had something posted on a Facebook page. You actually had to go and look, as if you're a consumer like me who likes supporting local businesses, you had to go search for where were they messaging about what's going on with their business. And a lot of local businesses dropped the ball before 2020 because they hadn't done a good job of building a list or an online digital platform where they could reach out and communicate to their customers. So what I want to do with Small Business Saturday is start giving back to that same community, because now more than ever, right after the coronavirus, with all the shutdowns that's been going on, and we're kind of seeing hopefully some daylight in the next year for small business owners getting to reopen and kind of focus back on how they can build their business back stronger. And there's an opportunity now to do that better as well. So let's get into 3 of the big mistakes not to make for small business going into 2021. One of those mistakes is to not build a list. So in other words, you have to start building your customer list immediately, and you have to start implementing some things into your business that are going to help customers want to give you that piece of information, whether it's their email, whether it's their phone number, address. I mean, if you can get all of this information and start touching and keeping in touch with your customer, not only is it going to help develop a relationship between the two of you, but it's also going to train your customer to be used to hearing from you. So what happens a lot of times is small business owners will maybe have an email, a passive email request on their desk, where some of them even do a pretty good job of making sure that it's in their POS system, and they set up something where they get the email and they email them out something like once or twice, once a month or once every other month, even once every 6 months. But what happens is that when we have shutdowns like we did in 2020, and you want to reach out and send a blast to your customers and say, hey man, we're still in business. As a matter of fact, this is how you can do business with us now, or maybe we put some things in a digital format, or maybe to go, you have to do to go items, or we have to ship things to you. Whatever it is, you want to train them so that they're used to hearing from you. And also it helps train the email systems as well, whether you're using one of these free email systems like MailChimp, or you're doing a premium one, a lot of them are available. A lot of times it takes a few sends back and forth to be a trusted source of sending. So you don't want to take all this time to build a 1,000-person email list, for instance, and then first time you send out a blast, you get all these spam reports and you get filtered through the system, and then the free email service might take down your account in that case, or you have such a high bounce rate, or some of your people aren't used to hearing from you, so they're not used to seeing your messaging, and they don't open your emails. So you want to train it because your customers are going to be used to hearing from you, and also the email systems will start seasoning and getting to know, you're getting familiar with the email system, and they're getting familiar with seeing those emails come from that system. Now, number 2, The number two thing that you want to make sure that you have going on is you want to make sure that you have some offers or specials. You have a box of them, like to sort of say you have this grab bag of offers or specials that you've tested or are in the process of testing with customers so that you can entice them during those slow periods. Or during the shutdowns, what happened is that no one really had an offer to go out there and give it and grab people's attention. Sales didn't necessarily go down last year for a lot of businesses, especially things like the big box retailers because they were allowed to keep going. But some of the online ones like Amazon, they had gangbuster year last year. Everyone was buying things online. You know where else had a lot of increase is people going online and buying courses, buying how-tos. A lot of those things picked up in 2020. So if you're a small business or a small retailer and you're trying to figure out a couple of things that you need to do to make sure that you get enticed and keep that customer's attention, you have to rotate in some offers, specials, discounts, a freebie, a how-to video, whatever you can think of. How can you entice that person to want to do business from you and to point number one, be able to give you that valuable piece of information on how to keep in touch with them. Email, phone number, address, whatever might be the most specific to your particular kind of business. And lastly, number three, come up with some great ways to do messaging and communication with them so that it's also educational, inspirational, or even informative for them. So now, if you're number one, you're trying to get that email list and you start maintaining it. Number two, you have offers or specials to give them. Number three, keep them in your circle of communication by posting to social media, posting to a video channel like YouTube, or maybe doing an audio channel like a podcast. If you don't want to be in front of a camera, it's as easy as just grabbing a phone and recording into that and then looking up on how you can start an audio channel of how-tos, of things that are particular in your industry that are going to be informative to your customers. And they say the top three things to do when you're doing content is you got to inform, you got to educate, or you got to inspire. And if you can do all three of those, then you're going to be hitting a lot of different marks and people are going to want to start listening to you. And that's what I'm doing with my channel here. I'm trying to educate and inform. And as I get better and better, maybe I can, do a little, inspire a little bit more, or even entertain a little bit more. But if you can figure out how to do any of those three things, educate, inspire, or entertain, and you're going to be hitting a lot of marks. So those are my three things to say the mistakes not to make in 2021 that you might have made it before the shutdowns and all of this pandemic hit in 2020. And I made a lot of those same mistakes. I got used to people just giving me calls and saying, hey, I need help with the website, or I need help with SEO, or I need help with something, because the business was good. And when the shutdowns came, marketing budgets dropped, my clientele took a nosedive as well. And I'm taking my own medicine now. I'm starting to post once a week to my YouTube channel. I'm starting to network with a lot of other people in my local community to get information out to small businesses. And I'm going to be coming up with some specials to help small business owners get a website, social media up and running, some graphics, whether it's logos, and building that core foundation that they're ready to market from, particularly with online. So thanks for listening to my first Small Business Saturday. You local business owners in your community, you are the special sauce that helps make our places unique. So we need to support you. We need to support each other and keep on keeping on. In 2021, we're going to survive. We're going to get through this. I believe in you, and I'm going to be here for you going forward. Let me know in the comments if you have anything to add, and hope you like this. Stay tuned. We'll be doing a lot more. Take care.